and welcome to another episode of Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. I'm your host, Kate Burns-Gallagher, and we're here in the beautiful Elgin County Railway Museum for another episode. Up first is Jeff Wright, who is one of the hosts of the Seniors Picnic here in St. Thomas, and also the publisher of every magazine that comes to your door, from Port Stanley Villager to Boomers and Beyond and St. Thomas Hometown. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you.
So you are the media guy for the Seniors Picnic this year.
Yep, so the Seniors Picnic has been going for a long time now. Like most committees, some people have been there a long time and they were looking to sort of retire and move on. And so this year there's almost a whole new committee taking over the Seniors Picnic. We still have a couple of people who've been around for the long time, so to help us guide us through this year's picnic, and then after this year they're moving on themselves. But we're really excited, and you know it's been going on for 25 years now, so it is an exciting event for seniors here in St. Thomas, but it's open to anybody, all across the county. We have people from London come in, etc. So it's just a really fun event.
25 years, that's a huge milestone. And when are we celebrating? What's the day? What's the details?
So it is July 10th. It's going to be at Pinafore Park. It starts at 9 a.m. and runs until 3. It's just a fun event for seniors to come out, enjoy the park, enjoy the fresh air. We've got live music basically all day. Brian May from Studio Arts has basically really coordinated a really special group of performers for us. We've got some dignitaries coming in. People, when they're there, bring a lawn chair, just be there for a really relaxing day of entertainment. But we also have lots of vendors who are there for information. St. Thomas Police Service will be there. There'll be different businesses from around the community who serve seniors who are going to be there. I'll be there for Boomers and Beyond, just basically saying hello to the readers. And I always get some great insight and some great feedback on the magazine while I'm there. So that's why I always participate. But yeah, it's just a fun day. July 10th from 9 to 3. It's pretty entertaining.
Perfect. And we will hope for good weather that day.
We're going rain or shine, but yeah, it's always better when it's not quite so hot and not raining on us.
Right. And so if you're planning to go from 9 to 3, do you have food vendors, or is there food options for people while they're there? We're
still nailing down the food vendors, but yes, traditionally we've had 2 or 3 different options. We're talking about a food truck, and then Marcus from the Icebox was always going to be at the park, so he's going to be there with some sweet treats. But there's usually options for some burgers, fries, hot dogs, that sort of thing.
Great. And is attendance free, or is there a charge?
It is absolutely free. We just want people to come down and have a good time. We've got a car show. It's just a really fun, 6 hours in the park.
Now, do you have to be a senior to go?
You don't have to be a senior. Last year we had quite a few kids came with their grandparents. Really, if you like live music, if you like car shows, if you like learning about your community, you don't have to be a senior, but they are our chosen demographic. But
right.
It's a fun event for pretty much everybody.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, I guess it being in the summer, there's maybe a few seniors that are playing the role of summer camp, eh?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's good fun, because most of the vendors have games or prizes or a little bit of swag they're handing out. So it's always fun to come out and see what you can collect and learn about from different people in your community.
That's wonderful. So we'll hope for good weather, not too hot and not raining.
That's right.
Great. And before we talked last time when you were here about the Seniors Talent Show, and you're prepping for that already.
Yep, St. Thomas Seniors Got Talent. I believe it's November 4th this year. We're already in the works. I got my first auditioner signed up, but it was a great event last year. It sold out really quickly. It showed how much people were excited about an event like this, and I know our winner received quite a bit of opportunity to go out and showcase her talents outside of our show. So that's what we're here for. We're here to entertain, raise a little money for hospice, and perhaps find a star in our community.
That's incredible. So if people are interested in auditioning for Seniors Got Talent here in St. Thomas, how do they do that?
So if you want to sign up for it to be on the audition roll, you can email me at St. Thomas Seniors Got Talent at gmail.com.
Okay.
And just send me your information, what your talent is, your name, and a way to contact you. And then when it comes time for the auditions, we'll reach out for that.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jeff.
All right.
And for more information on the picnic, where do people go?
Seniors Picnic in the Park on Facebook.
Seniors Picnic in the Park on Facebook.
That's right.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much. Always great to see you, Jeff, and look forward to seeing you again later this year.
Thanks very much.
Thanks. Take care. We'll be right back on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin.
Tuesday.
It turns out that it was the cats that got to the nest.
We want people to understand the plight of Canadian wildlife. It's not getting better.
Healed, released, free on Rogers TV. Join the high-energy, bodyweight-based workouts of the Thunder Twins. Gerald and Harold will get all shapes and sizes up and moving. Catch the Thunder Mondays at noon.
Heartbeat of Mother Earth, I feel you and embrace your warmth. I see you dancing through the trees. Your song floats on the summer breeze. Community, we come together. We are the voice of our ancestors. Thankful for how much you bless us. Feel the thunder in the drum. All our voices sing as one. Feel the power, feel the pride. Feel the drumbeat deep inside. Feel the boom, feel the bass. Let's let go of time and space. It'll make you dance, it'll make you sing. Ode Wegun, Wadok Wishin. The drum will lead you, take you far. Always remember who you are.
On Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. We're now joined by Andrew Least, who is the Manager of Venture Growth at TechAlliance. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what TechAlliance is.
Yeah, so TechAlliance is a nonprofit that exists to support tech and tech-enabled ventures to start and grow. So what that looks like is a lot of working with entrepreneurs and working with employees of tech companies to help them to either start the venture, hash out ideas and figure out what business models might make sense, or help them to maybe raise money or grow their sales engine so that they can get bigger, all in the service of economic growth.
Oh, very cool. And what kind of region do you cover?
So we cover all the way from Port Stanley up to Goderich and Sarnia out to Woodstock. Yeah.
Wonderful. And so when you talk about tech companies, what does that generally mean?
Yeah, it really runs the gamut. So most businesses have some sort of tech component to them. So what we're really looking at is a variety of like med tech or financial technologies. We see a lot of those in London, for example. There's a really great company here in St. Thomas called Lifestyle RX that they're really focused on lifestyle intervention for diabetes. So it does run a wide variety. One thing that we've been seeing a lot of recently is agriculture technology companies, so working on robotics in the fields and things like that. So each region has sort of their own sort of focus area, and ours is quite varied actually.
That's fascinating. So like I know there's the person from London who developed the software for ATM. So that sort of thing, very tech-based businesses then.
Yeah. And you know, it can even just be e-commerce companies.
Okay.
The sort of delineation for us is whether they're going to scale or not. So, you know, if they're, say, a digital marketing company and they're really doing customized things for individual clients, not always the best fit, they may be. But what we would often look at is something that can be a little bit more scalable and can go beyond their community and really reach far and wide.
Right. So in St. Thomas, right, we have 1Password.
Yes.
That started. And now, what do you have a success story from TechAlliance?
Yeah, 1Password is a really great business from the region. right now up in London, there's Paystone, so they're probably one of the bigger ones that we're servicing. So, and they've made quite a few acquisitions, sort of similar to 1Password. They're doing the opposite. Instead of being acquired, they're doing the acquiring. So it's always really exciting when we see homegrown success stories like that.
Definitely, for sure. So you offer a full suite of services, you mentioned, from funding to business supports. What does that look like for a company?
Yeah, so it can look like events and experiences in service of education or networking. It can look like us trying to help get some exposure for client companies so that they can, get the word out there about what they're doing. It can look like us wayfinding the ecosystem, so helping them to find grants or helping put them in touch with maybe venture capitalists who they can raise money for their venture. Or it can look like some direct support like what my team does, which is a lot of one-to-one advisory and consultation to help them grow their venture.
Oh, neat. And are TechAlliance's services free? Is there a charge? Is it a partnership? What does that look like?
Yeah, so it's a membership model for venture members, so companies that are in tech and they're looking to scale. There is no charge. So I encourage anyone, even if you think you might be tech adjacent, feel free to reach out. It's really easy to get access to our advisors and book in with us. So if you're not sure whether you're a good fit for our membership, feel free to book a meeting with us and we'll be happy to assess that. Fantastic.
And you've got an event coming up here in St. Thomas in July in partnership with the Atrium. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so it's on July 17th, I believe. And really, it's just an opportunity for us to provide just space for people to connect with each other. So in service of that networking component that I talked about earlier, something that we really find helps these ventures to grow is connecting them with each other and allowing them to learn from each other's experiences. So wherever possible, we try to make space for that. So there will be a little bit of drink. There may be a bonfire involved. I know they have a really nice outdoor space at the Atrium, so we're really excited to come down to St. Thomas where the entrepreneurs are at and try to put them together.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, the Atrium is such a great space too, right? So it's really about getting people together and talking and getting those creative juices flowing.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to attend, I would say, sign up for our newsletter there or keep in touch via the website to learn more about when that's coming up.
Great. And where can people find you and keep in touch?
Yeah, so techalliance.ca is the main place. Right at the top of our website, we have a lot of call to action so that you can try to get in touch with our team or fill out a form and we'll follow up via email. But yeah, the website is the main way.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for your time, Andrew. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin.
I've been volunteer at Rogers for almost 3 years. Volunteer for Rogers, it's good to have experience, to learn about how to manage the equipment, and yeah, making some networking. Yeah, I'm from Brazil, so I learned about hockey here in Canada and doing volunteer for Rogers, and yeah, it's a good experience for me. I like Rogers TV.
Today, I helped a parent feed their family by connecting them to a food program.
Today, I helped someone connect with mental health supports.
Today, I helped a couple struggling to pay their bills access financial aid.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
Back on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. We're now joined by Melissa Krawecki, who is a psychotherapist here in St. Thomas. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. So tell us a little bit about what a psychotherapist does.
Thank you for asking and thank you for having me. So a psychotherapist is a regulated title in Canada. To be a psychotherapist, you essentially have the designation to be able to practice the art of psychotherapy. Psychotherapy, in order to be able to perform the act of psychotherapy, you must have a master's degree and a designation. In my case, I'm a registered social worker that is permitted to perform the act of psychotherapy. So I can say that I am a registered social worker as well as a psychotherapist. So in my case, I can perform psychotherapy, which includes talk therapy and grief therapy. And that is my practice that I currently have in St. Thomas.
And that's your newest venture, is Krawecki counseling, and you focus on grief and bereavement.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the services that you offer.
Thank you. So I do offer one-on-one counseling for grief and bereavement. Grief and bereavement is a singular experience and one that we all will experience in our lifetime. And my services include both one-on-one counseling as well as group supports for different groups of similar types. I provide support and services for all types of loss. I have an inclusive model. That means that I support all individuals no matter what type of loss that they have experienced, and that may include abortion, miscarriage, stillbirth, up through, as well as the loss of a parent, the loss of a sibling, as well as what's really coming up a lot more recently in my practice is the loss of community, the loss of a best friendship. These are all losses that we experience in our lifetime, and my practice is designed to meet that need.
Interesting. A loss of community or loss of friendship, so it's not necessarily a death, but it's still a loss. What does that look like?
So what that can look like is if in the event you're moving through the world and, COVID revealed a lot of things for people, may it that their friendships may look different, or perhaps the social networks that they thought that they had, they no longer do. So it can present with very grief-like symptoms and very grief-like understanding of what's happening to them. The loss is very real. If you have lost a best friend or lost part of your family as you used to have them as part of your community, as a society, we're lacking our third spaces, that space that isn't home, that isn't work, but that we all used to gather. And that loss of community is manifesting for people in a lot of traditional grief symptoms like sadness and anger and bargaining.
Interesting. So what would a typical session with you look like when you're talking about loss and grieving and bereavement?
I tailor my sessions specifically to the individual. So a typical session is around 50 minutes, and you have the option of booking online or by phone, and in doing so, you can pick a location. I have a St. Thomas office, a London office, as well as I offer virtual. So the individual can choose to meet with me in any of those locations, and we will be talking about what brings you in, what you hope to receive from coming to grief counseling, as well as we will be talking about tools and supports. In addition, I have several support groups that are getting up and running, and those also will be a group format, usually in about 90-minute fashion, and could include, being able to meet with others in the community who have also experienced a similar type of loss.
And you're no stranger to this counseling. You've written a book.
Yes.
Share with us about your book.
So in 2015, I published the book In the Shade of Ava's Tree, and that book was dedicated to my daughter, who died in 2011. When my daughter died, I came home from hospital, and there were no books about this type of loss that I had experienced, as well as there were no resources that were available to help my loved ones to know how to support me. So after many years of reading and writing and thinking about it, I actually went forward and published my own book that spoke of what loss looks like, of our experience of death, as well as how to support the bereaved and how to support particularly a pregnancy after a loss. I went forward to create this curriculum, and it's a curriculum that I now teach in different settings, including with birth workers, nurses, public health, as well as different groups around Ontario.
Incredible. So if people are looking to reach out to you to book that first appointment or that group work, how do they do that?
It's pretty easy. My telephone number, 519-914-3390, as well as my website, krawecki.com, KRAWECKI.com. I'm on all social media, and you should be able to find me without looking too hard. I would love to hear from anyone who's out there, perhaps thinking of seeking support and wanting to reach out but not knowing where to begin. I'd be more than happy to take that call.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Melissa, and sharing such an important story and need in our community.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll be right back on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin.
Rising from the ashes, spreading my wings wide. No more holding back, I've got nothing to hide. If you cross me once, you will feel my thunder shower. So don't mess with me, cause I've got the power. I've got the power.
The Bachelorette season premiere, Monday, July 8th on City TV.
I'm Brona Morgan. I've been volunteering at Rogers since 2021, so about 3 years now. I love the opportunity that I have to connect with people from my community and share their stories. I am a lover of people and getting to know people. I love working with all of the awesome young people and the other people that work backstage in the control room, the people that I have been able to connect with as guests on the show as well. So interesting. The conversations are fun, and it's great to be that person that maybe is the first interviewer of somebody, and you can just see the potential that they have, and to get that person comfortable and having a conversation about something that they're passionate about, it's an absolute joy.
And we're back on Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. We're now joined by Emily Ranger M. Febri. Thanks so much for joining us today, Ranger M.
Thanks for having me, Kate.
So tell us, how long has Ranger M been on Rogers TV?
On Rogers TV, 4 years. It came out of COVID-19. I started the TV show then.
Great, and what was the inspiration behind Ranger M?
You could say I've always been Ranger M. I've been very passionate about the outdoors and nature, and then I started doing outdoors environmental education programming, and I always kind of thought it would be fun if the kids could, like, they come in and they call me like Mrs. M, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll give you a cooler nickname than that. So I was like, oh, Ranger M, and then a couple of my friends just really started calling me Ranger M, and it just kind of stuck.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. So what does your show focus on?
Everything and anything, conservation and nature. Sometimes I do episodes on my own and we're just kind of exploring, but other times I interview different people and organizations that are doing some cool things for nature or making strides in sustainability and stuff like that, and we just kind of chit-chat about those things.
Wonderful. I had the pleasure not too long ago to go to the Water Festival at Pinafore Park, and that was really cool, and I learned so much about how the different ecosystems work and things. I mean, I was there supervising the kids, but I learned so much that day. It was really cool.
Those bonus kind of things.
Yeah. So you share a lot of tips and tricks in some of your favorite places around the region. What would you say for summer are some of your go-to places?
To explore?
Yeah.
I love to explore in Elgin County, actually. A lot of my favorites are kind of in and around this area. I really like Yarmouth Natural Heritage Area, which is kind of in Sparta.
Yeah.
I find it, you can always find something to see there, like nature-wise, wildlife. But it's also just like a really cool success story of restoration, because it used to be a gravel pit and have a lot of stuff left there and litter and everything, and then you see it now, and it's just really cool to see all of this life coming there, some of the most like at-risk species you can find there, so really cool like that. I live in London, so I do really like how much environmental significant areas are in the city of London. It's really cool that you're like in this huge city for London or for Ontario, and you know, you can get into a forest and not hear any of the traffic. And I just like find that really cool.
It is neat. It's such a big urban center, how much green space there is.
Yeah. And then Kettle Creek Conservation Authority is doing some really cool things. They just made that water trail and stuff. So always nice to get out into the water.
Yeah.
So I just love exploring kind of different areas in and around London, Elgin County. On the other side, I go to like Huron and Lambton County as well. So.
Right, wonderful. It's so funny you mentioned about Yarmouth Natural Heritage Park area, and I remember when it was called the Snake Pit.
Yes.
Yeah, so that probably dates me, but I remember. And it is like night and day difference, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And I know some people still call it the Snake Pit, so it's okay.
So when people are out venturing, how can they limit their impact if they go to a conservation area or something? What are steps they should take to limit their impact this summer?
Yeah. Always get outside, always get into nature. A lot of conservation areas and provincial parks ask you to stay on trail. And it's not to limit your exploration in any way, it's just trying to prevent impact, as you were mentioning. There is some species at risk right off the trail. So staying on the trail really helps lessen the impact on them. Keeping your dog on leash would do the same, as well as create a safe space for everyone. If you've ever been to some trails, they have like those boot brushes, and those are to scrape your boots off after to try and get rid of any invasive plants that have maybe some seeds out and about, so try and help get those off. If you're fishing or going boating, you can always make sure to wash your gear, or only use certain bait and stuff that you're not helping spread invasive species. And you know, obviously taking everything that you brought and taking it back out with you. Don't leave any litter. Pick up your dog's poo and don't leave the bag there afterwards. I've seen that quite a bit. But yeah, just kind of leaving it the way you found it, and also try and leave it better than you found it. I have a dog, so I have poop bags on me all the time. So I actually try and fill a whole poop bag with litter as I walk. So.
Oh, that's such a great idea. Yeah, so taking that conservation that little bit step further.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So as people are planning summer, what are some suggestions you have for folks planning their summer holidays this year?
Wow. I definitely suggest getting out on the water. I actually really want to try stand-up paddleboarding. I don't know if anyone does that. I don't know if you've done it at all. I feel like you have to have some abs for it, so I should probably train a bit. But I really want to try that. Just trying new things. It's really exciting to get outside, and I always like trying new things. So if you're worried about, you know, not looking great trying new things, I do it. I love looking like a fool trying new things. But yeah, canoeing, kayaking, standing up paddleboard, just swimming, biking. There's a whole bunch of trails and everything that we can get out into that offer these you know, kind of multi-use recreational trails and stuff.
Fantastic.
So just trying new things.
Great.
Yeah.
And when does Ranger M air on Rogers?
So Ranger M's kind of airing throughout the channel already, but new season is coming this fall in September.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Me too.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much, Ranger M. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Kate.
Thanks. And that wraps up our show today for Next Week Today in St. Thomas-Elgin. Look forward to seeing you in the fall when Ranger M premieres, and we return after a short summer break. Until then, take care and have fun out there in St. Thomas and Elgin.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
I'm going to do two.
For you?
One for you,
yeah,
one for me.
Absolutely. Go down.
How much dipping?
Go right in.
Oh my God.